Today on Commander Replay, we check out this $100 budget Syr Gwyn. Can the hero of Ashvale overcome the mirror match? Find out next on Commander Replay. If you guys are interested in playing webcam games of Commander with me and supporting the channel, feel free to check out the Eventbrite link in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some $100 budget Syr Gwyn Hero of Ashvale today. Kept an opening hand that looks like this. It's got 4 lands and a Sword of the Animus. That's pretty good. We got a Heartseeker as some removal Silverblade Paladin. This is probably one of the best opening hands I've seen on Magic Online in a while. Magic Online has been very unkind as of late. Uh-oh, we got another Syr Gwyn at the table. A new Patreon supporter, by the way. Don't know if I'm saying this right. Looks like Eric Kyoto, but the K is joint. Oh, that's a Mana Crypt. That's definitely not in our deck. That costs more than our entire deck. Into a Signet. No land? Nope, there's the land. So, opponent's going to be off to a fast start. This deck, by the way, is built for like a 7 to 10 turn kind of meta. Being on a budget, it's not going to be blazing fast or blazing strong. So it's looking for more of a fair kind of meta. Ooh, that's a Soul Ring. We have mostly tap lands. Does Soul Ring even matter right now? I don't think it does, actually. Let's play a Scry Temple. See if we can set up like maybe an untapped land at some point. Mob Rule, you say. That's a finisher. Ooh. Bunch of aggro decks, though. Yeah, we'll keep Mob Rule right there. Syr Gwyn, Meren, and Edgar. There's going to be a lot of creatures on the table. And Mob Rule is the type of card that can just win you a game with that sort of stuff going on. 3 Mardu decks at the table. Chaotix apparently brought the wrong deck today. And all 3 Mardu commanders are 6-drops. There's a Vicious Conquistador, and that's going to do the Edgar Markov thing and make a vampire. So anyway, yes, we're playing Syr Gwyn, 3 in Mardu for a 5/5 Vigilance Menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. Equipment you control have Equip Knight 0, so free equips on all your equipments to your knights. So this is still a Voltron deck. It's got about 16 creatures in it. Probably could go to 17 or 18, honestly. But working around the budget, there were a few things I had to cut that unfortunately didn't make it in. A lot of the good knights, strangely, are like $8 to $10, so when you're on a budget, not amazing. But anyway, we see equipment like this card, Heartseeker, right here, which has Equip 5, but with Syr Gwyn in play, obviously Equip 0, and gives you the ability to repeatedly destroy your opponent's creatures, so I do like that one, and it's one of the more expensive equipments in this deck right now. When I put this together, I did have high hopes of getting the Cauldra package in there, but Cauldra is going to run about $15 in paper, so that was a little bit too much on a $100 budget. But I will point out that the Cauldra effects are very, very impactful. So the biggest drawback to Cauldra is 1, finding the pieces, and 2, they're all a little overcosted. But when you cheat the equip cost on those, it's actually very, very good. The sword makes it huge, plus it exiles stuff. The helm is actually unbelievably good, and of the group, it's the one that's not really super overcosted. You get Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, all relevant abilities, and then finally the shield gives your creature and all the Cauldra pieces indestructible, so those are very, very nice. I did have dreams of getting that into this deck. If you're not super keen on sticking to the budget, then I would definitely add some of those in, because they are highly impactful. Anyway, right here, still going to be a little bit awkward, but I think we're going to go with the Temple again, scry one more time. I did take a look. There's like 9 or so tap lands in the deck, which is a little bit high. The mana base could be improved, but it definitely costs money to do that. There's a Scavenger Grounds on top. We got a Meren at the table, so we're going to keep that right there. That is both an untapped land and a good answer against Meren. Let's get this Soul Ring into play, then the Sword of the Animus, and then pray for no Vandal Blasts from our opponents. Next turn, probably looking at something like Command Tower, Silverblade Paladin, something like that. So let's take a look at what our opponents are playing. First up, we have Camlic 2 piloting Edgar Markov, and they've got a couple vampires in play already. They're going to do some attacking. Going into the other Syr Gwyn opponent and the Meren opponent. So I played some of my old hyper-aggressive Edgar Markov deck recently, and I'm very sad to report that that deck does not function the way that it used to. In the, 2.5 years since I posted that video, the format has changed drastically. The way things are now, It's a lot easier to just ramp and go into something big than it is to just be fast with like 1 and 2 drops and try to win the game quickly. Being low curve aggro doesn't work in the same way that it used to. It's just so easy for someone to drop like an Avenger of Zendikar on turn 3 or 4 if they get the right hand. So yeah, I definitely need to do a lot of rework on the Edgar Markov deck, because the old plan of just low curve aggro is not what it used to be. It's a different format now. Here we are on turn 3. Syr Gwyn has a whole bunch of mana in play. So they've got 3 lands. They're going to equip this Dowsing Dagger. They're going to hit us, and it's going to flip over. Oh, there's a Feast and Famine. Yeah, just all the hits. We can make him discard our last card if we wanted to use the mob rule, but I'm not sure that I want to do that. What we can do, though, it's going to take us a few turns, but at some point, need to get Heartseeker and our commander into play. We can blow up their only creature. Oh, sending that into the Edgar Markov. All right, well, at least we're not taking the Feast and Famine hit. That'll be nice. So opponent's Dowsing Dagger flips over, and Feast and Famine will trigger. Looks like they stack them in the wrong... Or actually, no, that won't matter. Dowsing Dagger's still untapped. But Syr Gwyn has all of the ramp going. Yeah, and that's one thing you need to do in this deck. You just need to ramp hard in this deck, and that does become more difficult on a budget. But I've got most of the talismans and signets in here, but I don't have as many of the multi-producing ramp cards that I like. A lot of them are colorless, and also they're not the cheapest things ever, so that's a little bit frustrating sometimes. So yeah, opponent flips into the Lost Vale. Here comes a Stonehewer Giant. Oh my. There's the Scavenger Grounds. So let's go Command Tower, Silverblade Paladin, Sword of the Animist onto the Silverblade Paladin, and pass turn like that. I would not be sad to see a board wipe right here. Yeah, opponent said they feel bad because of the Mana Crypt opener. Mana Crypt will do that. All this stuff happening 2 turns before it should. Opponent did lay down a Champion of Flame, by the way. I missed that one. Human Warrior Trample gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Almost wonder if I should run that. Vicious Conquistador. I suppose it doesn't do much for you if your equipments aren't attached to it, and it's not a knight. Right now, as far as like low-cost creatures go, I am all about things that either fly, or have the free equip costs on them, or are named Hushbringer. So Chaotix laid down a Phyrexian Arena last turn. He's going to draw an extra card right here to lose a life. I'm going to look to him to hope he lays down a board wipe. Yeah, Stonehewer Giant's very good. That's one that I should probably carve out some room in the budget to get that thing into this deck. That card is extremely powerful. Drum Hunter for opponent. If you control a creature with power 5 or greater, you may draw a card at your end step. Thinking about maybe trying to set up this mob rule where we can get an equipment with the Stonehewer Giant. Champion Flame going on the attack into the Meren. Ooh. And Stonehewer our way. Can't do much about that. Oh, what could they get with a Stonehewer? They could get like a Colossus Hammer. Something nasty. Blackblade Reforged. Edgar Markov's got something. They're going to Kolaghan's Command on... Ooh, yeah. So Syr Gwyn's going to discard their last card, and they're going to blow up the Feast and Famine. All about that. Problem is... yeah, they should not have let... They shouldn't have let the Stonehewer untap. They could go Sunforger and Boros Charm? Or Teferis? No, let's it go. If it were me in that situation, that's what I would do. Now, we don't have Teferis in this deck, because budget, very expensive. Also, while we're talking about it, if you're going to ask me what the single biggest upgrade from this deck list would be, it would be Teferis Protection. So if you're looking to go beyond budget, Teferis Protection followed by Feast and Famine, and then probably Stoneforge Mystic and Steel Shaper's Gift would be my next recommendations. Latent Tutor, Vampiric Tutor also, but... Well, that's actually going to get rid of a creature. That's cool, right? Chaotix going to throw some stuff in front of this Champion of Flame. Yep, activates the Giant. Nope, that's the Blackblade Reforged. Who's getting it? Alright, it's going on the Champion of Flame. So thankfully not us, but Chaotix going to get trampled over a bit. We go down to 34, Chaotix at 34, and Kamlik at 31. Finishing our opponents, by the way, Chaotix 2075 piloting Meren of Clan Nel Toth, and he said he's playing Garrick Tribal, so I'm interested to see how that goes. And then finally we've got Eric Kyoto piloting Syr Gwyn, and they're having a really good go of the Voltron game right now, off of the hands of a Mana Crypt opener into a bunch of Mana Rocks, a Dowsing Dagger, and pretty much all of the ramp imaginable with the Stonehewer Giant. So they're in a very good spot. We've got this mob rule, which, you know, if they get lethal power on board, then we're just going to fire that down and... and see if we can kill them with that. Oh man, Heartseeker so much. So I think I want to get Syr Gwyn right here because that'll get us double strike and card draw on the Silverblade Paladin. Opponent's got no tricks up, so that's cool, right? They'll probably draw with the Mardu banner, I would guess. Yeah, just play the Mountain then. Play the Scavenger Grounds just in case of wheel or something like that. So cast Syr Gwyn, Soul Bond with Silverblade Paladin, send Silverblade into the other Syr Gwyn opponent, get a Syr Gwyn trigger and a Sword of the Animus trigger. So get our land. We could probably use just, we don't have a Meren in this deck, that'd be the next thing to add, but we've got double red, we've got a lot of multicolor producing lands. I think I'm just going to get a Plains, there's a lot of white in the deck. And we draw a Myriad Landscape, so flooding a little bit right here. But at least the landscape gives us the ability to get some lands should a board wipe happen, and we do need to recast Syr Gwyn. Sword of the Animist also extremely helpful, but opponent going to send the Vicious Conquistador on the attack again, slowly chip an opponent's life away, and they pass the turn. Edgar Markov missing some land drops. Yeah, Edgar Markov is a tough deck this day and age because, like I said, everything's so heavily focused on ramp into the big thing, and the things that Edgar Markov wants you to do aren't necessarily that. It's kind of strange. Signet for Chaotix. Into Sylvan Library. No removal, sadly. Mana Crypt flip. Loses the flip down to 20. I mean, they're starting to enter mob rule range. You get both of their creatures, that's 11, plus the... Oh, yeah, no. If they don't get Sunforger or something to protect themselves, we could potentially take them out with mob rule. Here comes opponent's Syr Gwyn. Well, they've got Syr Gwyn, they've got a floating mana, they got the Giant. I think things are probably about to get awful. Do they go for a haste equipment right here, maybe? Activates the Giant. They've got exactly enough mana for Sunforger. Yeah, that's a thing. Goes for a Vengeance. Okay. So it's just going to hurt really badly, but it's not Sunforger, so that makes me happy. Who's getting it? We're probably getting this one, I would imagine. No, send it over to Edgar Markov. Opponent draws a card, loses a life. Opponent going to block with a Vampire. It's got Trample. Would not recommend it. Edgar Markov down to 21. Life totals be moving quick. That's a generous gift. Oh, we have a lot of choices now. I think I'm on Mob Rule. So if we cast Mob Rule, we take their Syr Gwyn and then we sacrifice it to the Commander Rule, which is just annoying for them in the event that they don't die. Next, we should theoretically get an activation on the Giant. Let's see how much mana we have. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'd have exactly enough to activate the Giant and get an equipment. Probably Sunforger. Yeah, let's do it. There's a white. There's a white. Okay, play an untapped land. Play this Mob Rule. I'm excited about this one. This is kind of one that I stumbled onto somewhat recently, and does a very nice budget impersonation of an insurrection, and is a lot less mana. See how opponent wants to react? 2 cards in hand, 2 mana up. We choose a Syr Gwyn to keep. We will keep our Syr Gwyn. Opponent goes back to the command zone. So let's do a little damage check right here. This would be 10 damage. That'd be 16. That would be lethal. This one we could point somewhere else. I don't want to risk them untapping, so I think it's just going to be everything their way. They could have a removal spell at 2. We could have moved the Sword of the Animist, but just kind of forgot. There's probably already enough incentive for them to kill Syr Gwyn, so probably fine on the Silverblade. Everything their way. Taking no chances. Syr Gwyn gonna get 2 triggers. Yeah. Sword of the Animist will trigger. We're going to activate the Giant first, just so we don't draw the card we want. Going to do the thing that you should never do, which is play an unprotected Sunforger. But we're only going to get 1 crack with this Giant right here, so, you know, got to make it count. Some part of me wants to... we could go Argentum Armor. Some part of me wants to go get Dowsing Dagger just for the mana. But we've got Sword of the Animist, and Sword of the Animist is working just fine. Sunforger on the Syr Gwyn. Opponent said they had no way to protect themselves from that. Chaotix pointing out a Swords or a Path. Probably keeps them alive because it breaks the double strike and just kind of messes up what we're doing, which is why they said they didn't have anything in hand, which obviously that's a problem. But we get the Sword of the Animist trigger. Ooh, we draw Diabolic Tutor. It's our 1 tutor in the deck. Nice and cheap, friendly on a budget. Can't appreciate that. Maybe we get some other colors of mana. Let's just get a mountain. Decent number of red cards in the deck. Very few black cards in the deck. Although, one thing that I could probably work on, there's a bunch of double cost black cards in the deck, or at least there's a few of them relative to the number of total black cards in the deck. And I could probably try to fix that just a little bit because black is definitely the splash color in this deck. So it'd be much better if I could... Yeah, we got... Well, I guess... Alright, there's 3. So there's Murderous Rider, there's Diabolic Tutor, and Syr Gwyn. Murderous Rider may need to come out for budget reasons, but is a very good card. So opponent goes down. We get ourselves an equipment in the process. Mob Rule, pretty awesome. And We'll pass the turn like that. Now opponents are in the unfriendly position of having to deal with our Syr Gwyn and a Sunforger. Edgar Markov still stuck on lands. Chaotic's in need of some removal. We're tapped out, so he could potentially get us pretty good right here. Casualties of War would be terrible. Theoretically, we could go Diabolic Tutor and get Response Resurgent and get an additional attack. Opponent cracks the Blighted Woodland. Oh, that's a Warhammer. Warhammer plus Double Strike is lethal on an opponent. Okay. Chaotic says he's drawing all lands. Yep, okay. Play the Warhammer. Anything else that would help us finish this? Check the deck real quick. We've already got Double Strike. We're really needing the extra combats. We've only got one source of that. Wanted to get Aurelia, but it's so expensive. Unfortunately, we take 9 mana. We don't have enough to do everything all at once. So, play the Luxodon Warhammer. Free equip the Warhammer. Go to combat. Gwyn to Chaotix and Silverblade over to Edgar Markov. So we get 2 Syr Gwyn triggers and a Sword of the Animus trigger. And so there isn't tons and tons of card draw in the deck, but relying on Syr Gwyn to be able to get you extra cards here or there is really where you want to be. If you can have like 2 creatures in play like we do right now, this is exactly what you want to be doing. We've done this a couple times now. A surprising lack of removal in this game. Let's get a swamp and draw some cards. Draw another swamp. And a Path of Ancestry. Wow, we're drawing the lands pretty hard. Luckily, we've drawn enough action to make everything work thus far. Opponent blocks, soaks up the damage from Silverblade Paladin. Chaotix goes down to commander damage, 24 commander damage. We're up to 52 life. Yeah. I did build a reasonable amount of lifelink into the deck. I know that Syr Gwyn will burn its own life total a little bit. Got a True Conviction, got a couple of the knights that have lifelink on it, so those are all nice. You get a few attacks in with those. Then obviously Warhammer. What are we going for right here? Mistveil Plains gives us the Sunforger loop, although I don't know that we need that in the moment. Let's just get Myriad Landscape. We can Diabolic Tutor right here. We'll get the extra combat spell and hold up Boros Charm mana, and this should do it. Opponent's talking about turn 5 was too fast to go down and says, welcome to the modern commander meta. Yup. I'm not happy about it either. There's so many big clunky 4 or 5 drop equipments I would love to run in this deck that the meta does not allow for that these days. Scry Temple for opponent. Toxic Deluge would buy them a little bit of time, but we're so far ahead on mana that I just don't know that they can catch up at this point. Here comes a Falconwrath Gorger. Don't think that's going to do it. Indulgent Aristocrat, sure. Opponent has 4 toughness worth of creatures. We have 24 damage. We do need to move a sword over. There's a Talisman. All right. Play a land. Play the Heartseeker. Equip the Heartseeker. Go for the big swing. This should do it. Actually, one thing I didn't account for is if we have to use Sunforger. Yeah. Okay. That's the thing that could happen if opponent has a swords right here. Sword of the Animist. 2 Syr Gwyn triggers. There's a Boros Charm. There's a Syr Conrad. Get a land. Opponent blocks with everything. Saying GG. 10 on the first hit. And should be 14 once again. Oh, opponent said they had got a Forge in hand and waited on the vampires. Got stuck on lands, apparently. But yeah, we take it down. Nice. So, Syr Gwyn, pretty good when no one plays removal. And yeah, this goes to show that my motto has definitely become the best removal is player removal. Because then you no longer have to deal with their stuff. So anyway, yeah, the deck performed well. We had a very good start, so I definitely liked our opener. I don't know that it'll be that good every single time. We caught a Soul Ring off the top, definitely speeds you up. We had Silverblade, a good number of lands to start with, and Sword of the Animist, which just makes life easy, makes you able to ramp really well. We had 2 creatures. We were able to draw with Syr Gwyn twice a lot, which was really, really helpful, so I like that as well. But yeah, goes to show you the power of Mod Rule right there. We did some awesome stuff with that. That was cool. Oh, maybe this deck needs a Hate Mirage. Copying your opponent's mana creatures is awesome. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have another new Angel Tier Patreon supporter in Casey McClara. Casey, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below. And be sure to use the TCG affiliate player link as it helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything.